Okay, another short video on some basic ratio questions. Once again, typical of paper 1 questions here, so no calculator is needed, just some knowledge of times tables and some basic ratio principles you need. In this particular question, we're going to take some money again, we're going to split it between two people. I've actually named them John and Jane this time, and they're going to get the money in the ratio of 3:4. So in other words, every time the money is dished out, John would get £3, Jane would get £4. £3, £4, £3, £4 until all the money is gone. Now in this particular question, notice something slightly different compared to the last video. You do not know, you're not told how much money is split between the two people. You don't know the starting amount of money. So what I'm not going to do is this, which is a very common mistake. Some people automatically, because they sort of revised the work in the previous video, would say 3 and 4, don't copy this, whatever you do, 7 ratio parts is equal to the £28 that's mentioned in the question, and carry on from there. That would fundamentally be the wrong thing to do. 7 ratio parts, yes, would be fine if £28 was the total amount of money in the question, because 7 ratio parts is the total amount of ratio parts in the question. Well, the £28 is not the total amount of money. It's only the money that Jane receives. So it would be a false statement to say that 7 ratio parts is 28, because Jane, the second person, actually only receives 4 ratio parts, not 7 ratio parts. So what I'm going to do is adjust this, and this is what you should be making a note about, to 4 ratio parts. That's what Jane receives. She receives £28 and she gets 4 parts. 4 ratio parts. So that is the opening statement, slightly different to the last video. From here on in, however, it's just the same process. You now work out what 1 ratio part is. So 4 of them are 28, so you take the 28 and you share by 4. 1 ratio part would be £7. Now you know that 1 ratio part is £7, you now answer the question. What does the question say? How much does John receive? Go to the question above. John is the first person and he receives 3 ratio parts. So I've only got one further calculation to do. I need to work out John, who gets 3 ratio parts. Like so. 1 ratio part is £7. So John gets 3 lots of £7, which is £21. And that's the answer to the question. So Jane is getting £28 and John would be getting £21. If the question had said, so how much money was there in the first place, which was being split up between John and Jane, then obviously 28 plus 21, £49 would be the answer. But that wasn't asked for in this question, so you don't work it out. Okay. Let's try number 2. I'll cut down some of the writing. Let's say we've got an amount of money again. Let's say I'm going to cut out the writing and just tell you the question to speed things up. Let's say Peter and Jill split some money in the ratio 4 compared to 7. Let's say that Peter gets £48. How much money was split in total? So this time I don't want to know what the other person gets, I want to know how much money in total there was that was being split. Okay, very quickly then. Peter gets £48, so I'm interested in Peter's amount of money. Not the total this time, not to begin with for my starting line. I'm told information about what Peter gets. So looking at the ratio information, Peter and Jill get in the ratio 4 to 7. So Peter's share is 4 ratio parts, and that's what £48 is. So 4 ratio parts equals £48. That's your starting line. 1 ratio part then will be 48 shared by 4, which is £12. So you know 1 ratio part is £12. And so this time, how much money was split in total? I want to know the entire amount of money being split. Now there's 2 ways of doing it. You can either work out what Jill gets, which is 7 ratio parts, and then add the 48 to whatever the GIL total is, and you can add the two answers together to get a grand total. Or you can say, well, in complete total for this question there are 11 parts. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, let's say the total amount split is 11 ratio parts. So one part is £12, so 11 parts would be 11 12s. Well, 10 12s are 120, add another 12, £132. That's the total amount of money that is split between the two people. And it's as simple as that. Okay, so just be careful how you set out the initial starting line. The big mistake here, as I said before, would be 3 and 4 gives you 7 ratio parts equals 28. Without thinking about it, some people would put that. And likewise here, some people might say 4 and 7 is 11 and start off by saying 11 ratio parts is 48. No, you're using the same technique that you did in the first video here. You've got to be very careful. The information here is Peter gets £48, so Peter is 4 parts. 4 parts, 48 is the starting line. Okay, that's the end of this short video.